You did everything right, booked months in advance, compared prices across 6 different websites, found a deal, $99 a night at a casino on the Strip. You screenshot it, texted your friends, felt smart, felt savvy. You beat the system. Then you checked in. The front desk agent smiles, types something into the computer, slides the paper across the counter, and there it is. Resort fee, $51.95 per night. Non-negotiable, non-optional, non-refundable. Your stomach drops. But wait, there's more. Parking, $20 per day at a casino where you drove specifically to hand them your money. You do the math in your head. 99 plus 52 plus 20 times 3 nights. Your $99 room now costs $513. You didn't book a deal. You walked into a trap, a legal, corporate-approved, focus group-tested trap. And your vacation hasn't even started yet. This is why tourists feel scammed in Las Vegas. Not because they lost at blackjack. That's expected. That's the game. You know the house has an edge going in. They feel scammed because the city has built an entire economy around deception. Hidden fees, bait and switch pricing, amenities that vanished while the prices climbed. Nickel and diming you from the moment your plane touches down until the moment you collapse into your Uber back to the airport. Today I'm breaking down exactly how they do it, the specific tricks, the psychological manipulation, the corporate math behind every deal that isn't a deal, and why it's only getting worse. If you're new here, I expose what's really happening behind the neon, not the fantasy, not the marketing, the math. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because after this video, you'll know exactly where your money actually goes, and you'll never fall for the same tricks twice. Let's start with the biggest legal scam in the hospitality industry: resort fees. They exist for one reason, and one reason only: to lie to you about the real price. Here's how resort fees work. Pay attention, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. The casino wants to charge you $150 a night for a room, but they know you're comparing prices online. They know you'll scroll right past anything over $100, so they split the price. They advertise $99, big number, bold font, shows up first in search results. Then they add a $51 resort fee that only appears at checkout, sometimes not even then. Sometimes you don't see it until you're standing at the front desk with your credit card in your hand. The room always cost $150. They just lied about it until you were too committed to walk away. That's not a pricing strategy, that's a con. And what do you actually get for that $50 fee? Wi-Fi, basic internet access that every hotel on earth includes for free, that every coffee shop includes for free, that your phone already provides for free. Gym access, a room full of treadmills you'll never touch because you're in Vegas and you didn't fly across the country to run in place. Pool access, which is already part of the hotel, which has always been part of the hotel, which every other resort destination includes in the room rate. They're charging you for the building being a building. They're charging you for amenities that aren't amenities. They've invented a fee for things that should be included, called it resort, and convinced an entire industry that this is normal. And here's the infuriating part. Every casino does it now. Every single one. It started with the big corporate properties, MGM, Caesars. They tested it, saw that tourists complained but still paid, so they raised it. $20 became $30, $30 became $40, $40 became $50. Now you're looking at resort fees approaching $60 at some properties per night, on top of the room rate, on top of parking, on top of everything else. And because everyone does it, you can't escape it. There's no alternative. The competition isn't competing, they're all running the same playbook. The fee isn't for amenities, the fee is because they can. Resort fees are annoying, I know, you know, everyone knows. But here's the thing, they're just the appetizer, the warm-up scam, the first cut in a death by 1,000 cuts. The real heartbreak happens after you check in, when you open your room door and realize it looks nothing like the photos, when the carpet smells like the last decade, when the furniture is chipped and the mattress sags and the air conditioner rattles like it's begging for death. When you walk into the buffet expecting the Vegas, you remember the crab legs, the prime rib, the legendary excess, and you find a sad steam tray of disappointment and a price tag that went up while the quality went down. When you realize that everything good about Vegas has been quietly replaced with a cheaper version. and they're still charging you like nothing changed. The resort fee gets you in the door angry. You're already frustrated, already doing math you didn't expect to do, already wondering if this trip was a mistake. But that's just the entry wound. The bait and switch is where the real bleeding starts. Because nothing in Vegas is what it used to be, and nothing is what the photos promised. Let's talk about your room. You booked it based on photos, beautiful photos, professional photos, crisp white linens, modern furniture, a view of the strip at sunset, everything bathed in golden light. You imagined yourself there, glass of wine, feet up, living the Vegas dream. Then you open the door. The first thing that hits you isn't the view, it's the smell. That signature Vegas hotel room smell, a cocktail of industrial cleaner, stale air conditioning, and something else, something older, something that's been absorbing into the carpet for 15 years. You flip on the lights, and there it is. The furniture is chipped, not vintage, not character, just old and damaged and never replaced. The carpet has stains you don't want to identify. That pattern wasn't chosen for aesthetics. It was chosen because it hides dirt. The mattress sags in the middle, a permanent valley carved by 10,000 bodies that came before you. You pull out your phone, look at the photos on the website again. Same room type, supposedly, but those photos were taken during a renovation, 5 years ago, maybe 10. The hotel never updated them. Why would they? The old photos still sell rooms. The photos aren't lying exactly. They're just not telling the truth anymore. And technically, legally, that's allowed. The photos are representative, not guaranteed. You got exactly what they sold you. You just didn't get what they showed you. But the room is just where you sleep. The real heartbreak is waiting downstairs. The Vegas buffet, the legend. The reason your dad still talks about that trip in 1987. You remember the stories. Maybe you lived them. Crab legs piled like mountains. Prime rib carved to order. Pink in the center, the juice is running. Shrimp cocktail towers. Dessert tables that looked like edible architecture. $50 bought you a religious experience. All you can eat meant all you can dream. That buffet built Las Vegas. Now walk into that same buffet in 2025. $50 still, actually $55 now, $65 on weekends. And what do you get? A steam tray of scrambled eggs that have been sitting since dawn. Rubbery, gray at the edges. The kind of eggs that make you question the concept of breakfast. Pre-sliced turkey breasts sweating under a heat lamp, so dry it catches in your throat. A carving station with one sad roast and a line of 12 people waiting for the guy with the knife to acknowledge their existence. And the crab legs? Market price. That's what the sign says now. Which is corporate speak for too expensive to serve. We did the math. The crab legs don't fit the margin. The seafood section, gone entirely at half the properties. Replaced with more pasta, more bread, more filler that costs pennies and fills plates. They didn't lower the price when they gutted the quality. They raised it. You're paying more, for less, and they're hoping the memory of what it used to be is enough to keep you coming back. This is the bait and switch at industrial scale. They're selling you nostalgia, the Vegas your parents told you about, the Vegas from the movies, the Vegas that existed before the spreadsheets took over, but they're delivering something else entirely. The brand name is the same, the building is the same, the price is the same, actually higher, but the experience, the quality, the soul, hollowed out, replaced with cheaper ingredients and fewer staff and the corporate calculation that you probably won't notice. Or if you notice, you won't complain. Or if you complain, you'll still pay. The rooms are worse than the photos. The buffets are a shadow of what they were. But at least the drinks are free, right? That's still the deal. Gamble a little, drink for free. The original Vegas promise. Wrong. The free drinks are the most expensive thing in Vegas now, because they figured out how to charge you for those too. Not on your bill, not directly. They've made free drinks so slow, so watered down, so frustrating to get that you'll pay $18 at the bar just to avoid the wait. And that's not an accident, that's a strategy. Resort fees hit you at check-in. The room disappoints you when you open the door. The buffet breaks your heart at dinner. But those are the wounds you can see. The obvious ones. The scams that announce themselves. What happens next is quieter, slower, more insidious. The nickel and dime economy, where every single interaction becomes a transaction. where they figured out how to charge you for things that used to be free and charge you more for things that used to be cheap. Let's talk about free drinks. The original Vegas promise, the deal that built this city. You sit at a slot machine, you play a little, a cocktail waitress appears, you order a drink, it arrives, you tip $1 or $2, everyone's happy. The casino gives you alcohol, you stay longer, you gamble more, the math works for everyone. That was the deal for 60 years. That deal is dead. Here's what happens now. You sit at a slot machine, you play, you wait, and you wait, and you wait. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You're scanning the floor, trying to make eye contact with a cocktail waitress who's covering twice as many tables as she used to because they cut staffing to save money. She finally arrives. You order a vodka soda, she disappears. 20 more minutes. The drink arrives. You take a sip. It's 90% soda, a whisper of vodka, so watered down you'd need 4 of them to feel anything. And that's not an accident. They made the free drinks bad on purpose. Think about it. If the free drinks are slow, weak, and frustrating to get, what do? You walk to the casino bar, where that same vodka soda costs $18, served immediately, actually strong. They degraded the free option until paying felt like relief. That's not customer service, that's psychological manipulation. But the drink scam is just the appetizer. Let's talk about the tables. Remember $5 blackjack? Remember sitting down with $50 and playing for 3 hours? Remember when Vegas was a place where a regular person could afford to gamble? Gone. Minimum bets have exploded. $15 is the new normal, $25 on weekends. Some tables pushing $50 minimum just to sit down. Let me show you what that means. At a $5 table, you could play 20 hands with $100. Even with bad luck, that's an hour of entertainment. Maybe 2 if you catch some wins. At a $25 table, 4 hands. That same $100 is gone in 10 minutes. They didn't raise the minimums because the games got better. They raised them because they want fewer players spending more money faster. More turnover, more extraction, less fun. They've priced out the casual gambler, the person who came to Vegas to play, not to make a mortgage payment on a blackjack hand. And if you're thinking, okay, I'll just play slots instead. Lower stakes, more control. Think again. Penny slots don't exist anymore. Not really. Sure, the machine says penny slots, but the minimum bet is 40 lines at 5 cents each. That's $2 a spin. You're playing penny slots at $200 an hour. The cheap options aren't cheap. They just have cheap names. And then there's parking. This one hurts different because it's not just a fee, it's a broken promise. For 60 years, Vegas casinos offered free parking. It was the deal, the original deal. You bring your wallet, we let you park. We're not going to nickel and dime you before you even walk in the door. Then MGM started charging $20 just to test it, see if people would pay. People complained. People were furious. People paid. So Caesars started charging, then everyone else followed. Now you're paying $20 to $30 a day to park at a casino, a place where you're about to hand them money, a place that desperately wants you inside gambling. They're charging you for the privilege of giving them more money. And because everyone does it, there's nowhere else to go. No casino saying, we still respect you. No property holding the line. They all caved. They all chose the fee. They all broke a 60-year promise because they knew you had no alternative. Resort fees, degraded rooms, gutted buffets, weaponized drink service, inflated table minimums, paid parking, each one a cut. Small enough to rationalize, small enough to absorb. But together they've killed something that used to make Vegas special. The feeling that you were getting a deal, the feeling that the house wanted you there, the feeling that even if you lost at the tables, you won everywhere else. That feeling is gone, replaced by the constant, nagging sense that everyone is reaching into your pocket, that every smile hides an upsell, that you're not a guest, you're a target. And the question is, why? Why did they abandon the model that worked for 50 years? Why did they decide to nickel and dime the customers who built this city? The answer is on Wall Street. And it explains everything. So why? Why did they break everything that worked? Resort fees, bait and switch rooms, gutted buffets, weaponized drink service, impossible table minimums, paid parking. These aren't random decisions. They're not accidents. They're not the result of inflation or bad management or changing times. They're a strategy. And to understand that strategy, you need to understand what happened to Las Vegas. There used to be an unwritten contract between Vegas and its visitors. You bring your money, we treat you like royalty. Cheap rooms, cheap food, free drinks, free parking, lost leaders everywhere. The casino lost money on your hotel room so you'd feel rich enough to gamble. They lost money on the buffet so you'd stay on property instead of wandering somewhere else. They comped your drinks so you'd stay loose, stay happy, stay longer. The math was simple. Make the visitor feel like a winner before they ever sat down at a table, because happy people gamble more. Relaxed people stay longer. People who feel valued come back year after year. It worked for 50 years. Then Wall Street discovered Las Vegas. And everything changed. Private equity firms, hedge funds, institutional investors, people who'd never gambled a day in their lives, people who looked at spreadsheets, not casino floors. They bought in. MGM went corporate. Caesars got swallowed by private equity. One by one, the old operators, the guys who understood the deal, got replaced by MBAs with optimization models. And those MBAs looked at the old Vegas model and saw one thing: waste. Lost leaders on rooms? Inefficient, charge more, add fees. Free parking? Money on the table, charge for it. Generous buffets? Margin destruction. Cut the crab legs, raise the price. Staffing for quick drink service, overhead, cut it, let them wait, let them pay at the bar. Low table minimums, inefficient use of dealer labor, raise them, price out the small players. They optimized every interaction, monetized every touch point, turned every moment of your vacation into a revenue extraction opportunity. On the spreadsheet, it looked brilliant. Margins improved, revenue per guest climbed, the quarterly reports glowed. But spreadsheets don't capture everything. Spreadsheets don't measure how a guest feels when they realize they've been tricked. Spreadsheets don't track the conversation at dinner when someone says Vegas isn't worth it anymore. Spreadsheets don't count the people who decided not to come back. Here's what the optimization model misses. A tourist who feels scammed doesn't come back. They tell their friends. They write the review. They post on social media. They book somewhere else next year, Cancun, Miami, anywhere that doesn't make them feel like a mark. Vegas is trading 50 years of customer loyalty for 5 years of optimized margins. They're harvesting goodwill that took generations to build, spending it down like a trust fund kid burning through an inheritance. And when it's gone, when the reputation shifts from bucket list destination to tourist trap, the spreadsheet won't explain why the numbers stopped growing. And here's the cruel irony. The more they nickel and dime, the worse the experience gets. The worse the experience gets, the fewer people come. The fewer people come, the more they have to squeeze the ones who do. It's a death spiral disguised as optimization. They're not saving the business, they're accelerating its decline. One resort fee at a time, one gutted buffet at a time, one broken promise at a time. So when you feel scammed in Vegas, I want you to understand something. You're not being paranoid, you're not being cheap, you're not failing to appreciate the experience. You're responding correctly to a system that was redesigned to extract maximum value from you while delivering minimum value to you. The scam isn't a bug, it's the business model. You're not a guest anymore, you're a revenue unit, a line item, a wallet with legs. And until that changes, until the spreadsheet people are gone and someone remembers what made Vegas special, it's only going to get worse. So what do? You go in with eyes open, you understand the game, you don't let them make you feel crazy for noticing what they're doing, and you share this video with anyone planning a Vegas trip, so they know too. Hit subscribe for more truth behind the neon. Drop a comment, what's the worst fee you've been hit with? What scam caught you off guard? What made you feel like Vegas didn't want you there? Because the only way to fight back is to stop pretending everything is fine. The house always wins. But at least now you know how the game is rigged. I'll see you in the next one.